Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry and it's time for some more sorcery. And in fact, I'm thinking we might even make it to the city of Khare tonight. Just a feeling, you know. I'd say, looking at the map, you know, including introduction and starting, episode 1 got us to here, just past Cantapani. Episode 2 got us to Cristatanti. Episode 3 got us to Biritanti, which covered quite a bit of ground, so I'm reckoning episode 4 should probably get us to the city. Let's see. So when last we left off, we were lulled to sleep by the sonorous thundering of the waterfall. And now we have options. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jan leaps up and onto your shoulder. "Ready to go?" he chirps. You pass through the village, which is now as quiet as the grave, and rejoin the path on the far side of Biritanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Torapani today, the last village in the Shamutanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, leading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. I'll ask Jan for his advice. I think to the right should lead to the top of the waterfall. Maybe that's where I needed to be. I think I should have gone up there before sleeping. I'm not sure if I had the option. "Which way, Jan?" "To the right is a forest. To the left the going is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani." What else do you know?" You demand suspiciously. "Nothing," protests the creature, "and that's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know." You'll get no more from the creature. With Torapani so close, it hardly matters which way you go, surely. Well, you say that, but... Oh... One of these forests, I remember, has an encounter that will benefit us in a later book. Book 3, I think. This here also looks like a forest. Possibly. Oh, this is difficult, this is. I don't want to miss this encounter, because it's a fun one. And I cannot remember for the life of me where it is. And we have physical directions instead of compass directions. And we don't normally get directions in this Inkle version because of the way it's beautifully done on the map. So I think I'm going to risk missing it and go left. But does that feel... Oh, I wish I knew. I wish I knew. So there's a character in one of these locations that I would like to encounter, because it would make for a fun playthrough. I just don't know, though. Also, this looks like the hut where the ruffian was collecting money, right? Rather than somewhere just down here. Oh. Left is best, in theory, so there we go. We go left, you decide. "Good choice," Jan replies. The path slopes gently downward through shrubby forest and across patches of dry, weary earth. The Shamutanti Hills are relatively verdant compared to the Baklands beyond the Jabaji River, and you can see the influence of that desolation already creeping into the soil like a spreading infection. Then, as you crest a rise, a powerful, pleasant smell reaches your nostrils, and you see off to your right a path through a field of beautiful black flowers. That heady smell will probably put me to sleep, and I probably shouldn't take it. I'll ask Jan about it. "Jan, what are those flowers?" Who care? Who knows? Who cares? Chirps from Minimite, dancing about on your shoulder impatiently. This is the shortest path to Toripani. Do you want to get there or not? I might want to go the other way. If I try using magic... Oh! Oh, no, no, no. Jan's with me. Foolish, foolish, foolish. 2:45 in the morning, thinking. I'll see what I can find out for myself, you tell the detestable creature. Good luck with that, Jan replies. You clear your mind, trying to ignore the smell rising from the field and ready a spell. I've got a Minimite with me. I can't cast any spells. Protection from magic. Sure, I'll give that a try. It's a cheap spell, right? You weave the spell, but although you feel yourself weaken, nothing happens. Jan shakes his little head. Very sorry to have to tell you this, but there's no point trying your magic while I'm around. I'm afraid Minimites and magic don't mix. You know what? I really should have known that. Going through the field feels really bad. This feels like a trap. I'm going to turn back and go the other way. There's something about the flowers that makes you uneasy. We're going the other way, you tell Jan, turning back and heading downhill once more. The Minimite complains, but does not leave your shoulder. That's alright. I'm going the other way. It feels good to not go near those flowers. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending yet again. You are now at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin. The view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch glimpses of Khare on the northern horizon. You know what? I will stop and eat now, because I'll get that point of stamina back. Taking a brief pause, you eat a portion of your cheese and bread and feel better for it. Then you continue along your road. Jan is in a talkative mood, over the worst of his headache from last night's drinking, and fills the air around with his chatter about what he can see, and how things smell, and what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Khare. It's enough to make you wonder if you could sell him as a companion to a blind old lady somewhere. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jan falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop! Stop now! Why? Because, insists the creature in a tiny voice, because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me, whispers a voice. I know it. I can look into the darkness. Walk away. Answer. I'll look. Now this is tricky because I know there's a possibility of an auto kill here, or at least I think it is. I do want to fight. But first... Answer. No, I'll look. You peer into the darkness of the trees. Nothing. Just shadow. And then you see. It's a shadow with two eyes. Ask who is there. There we are. Look at him. Two eyes peering through this dark cowl. Who's there? There is no reply, but the tall, dark figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. In that case, that tree's a lot closer. Look at all this foreground, you know. Ooh. He wields a sharp scimitar in expert hands. I'm not going to try and cast a spell. I've got a Minimite with me. I will fight. You bring your sword up to bear. He looks like he's in a sort of defensive position, but I don't know how likely that is to be. I will defend for the first round. Ha. The assassin bows to you, raises his curved sword in salute, and then readies his stance. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The assassin is perhaps the most fearsome opponent you have so far encountered. He covers himself as well. I don't think he's going to defend again. So I'm going to defend, bait an attack out of him. That will lower his defense so I can then go in with a big hit, right? Oh. You hold firm and keep up your defense, and he hangs back and watches you without emotion. So what now? Oh, you circle around him at arm's length and he circles away. Okay. Let's go for a very light attack. I doubt he's going to defend a fourth time in a row. Oh, he did. Time to attack. You sting with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy, but the impact clangs against his turned sword. He grins. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, the assassin declares in a voice as cold as polished marble. Oh. Okay. I was going for more of a discount Russell Crowe, but okay. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, the assassin declares in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. I'd like to know who hired him. Well, in that case, it sounds like he's building up to an attack. I'm going to defend. Yeah, that's right. You drop yourself into a crouch as he tries a deep slice, but you roll out of the way mostly unhurt. The assassin laughs appreciatively. Okay. So he's mocking me. He's feeling confident in his ability, but he's also running low on attack. He can't go over 2.5. So if I go for like a 2.6, I'm good, and I'll still have more for the next round. Oh, he defended. Acting quickly, you spike forwards with your sword, mean and vicious, but the blow jumps back off the hilt of his blade. That, ooh, typos. He grimaces with effort. You will die out here, the assassin tells you, his tone like ice. Right, he can't do anything but defend. I will defend. Oh, okay, he had a little bit there. You whip up your defences as he attempts a heavy cut, but you duck mostly unharmed. I'm going to gamble on him at not defending here. But in case he does, 2.7 ought to do it. He defended. Ooh, he likes doing that a lot. Okay. Leaping into action, you swing your sword fast in towards his chest, but the impact clangs off his weapon. He smiles. He is bruised, but not seriously hurt. Now I defend. Ah, he defended. You ready yourself to block, and he waits and watches you in return. He's gaining his energy, which means he's going to be defending. So a little light attack. Yeah, that's right. Feinting left, you sweep low with your blade, low and fast, but the blow jumps back off his raised weapon. He grins. He is battered but ready to come back stronger. Oh, he's building for an attack. I can guarantee you a simple death, the assassin declares, his eyes are merciless. This had better not be another defend. Oh, yeah! The trees watch as the battle unfolds. Relentlessly you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You rush forwards with a deep, heavy slash, outclassing his own sword swing. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. Closing his eyes, the assassin murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance. Look, I'd better defend. Okay. Actually, 3.5, 4.3. I think I need to defend. I'm so glad that I did. Although I would have got him. You duck down into a low stance as he powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. He nods to you wisely. The assassin spins his sword about to shift the sword across his body. He's got a lot of power there. And I can't best that, so I will defend again. Ooh, a light attack. You stay steady and keep up your defense. His light blow sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of an attacking serpent. You are mostly unharmed. He raises one hand to draw a finger in a line across his throat. The assassin swivels his grip. The weapon sings as it moves. I don't think he's defending, but I don't want to... I'll go for a big cut. There we are. Time to attack. You slash violently across his chest. He is off balance and moving slowly, and the blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as to not admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you choose, but if you do me an honor and use my own blade. 4 stamina loss. Rough going. Well, he was a good fighter. He was a very cagey defensive fighter. I'll continue on. The assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping. I could finish him and search his body, or spare him. I will spare him. I want to know who sent him after me. Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods and sheathes his own blade. You are an honourable man. I am glad to meet you. Now you have saved me, you own me, in part. My name is Flanker, and I am an assassin and thief. Why did you attack me? It is a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and in killing. I assumed you would be no match, especially when I saw your... pet. He points briefly at the Minimite, who is currently hiding under a fold in your tunic. But I see I was wrong. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. You are travelling to Khare, he asks. Yes. Again, it's the only place the road goes to, so hard to deny it. I go that way as well. I will not travel with you, but once you are there, perhaps I will see you. If so, I will not forget the debt I owe you. What is your business in Khare? As if he's going to tell me. He looks long into your eyes for a moment, then answers. The nobles of the city have heard rumours. Goblins are reopening the old mines. They want to know why. And have you found out? I believe so, he replies in a whisper. It is not jewels or iron they are after. You know the history of these hills, perhaps. They have not always been so poor or underpopulated. Once great and powerful men lived here, men of great knowledge and sorcery. Long gone now. Flanker shakes his head. Not gone. Changed. There is a village of giants in these hills. That is what those men became. The ancient miners once ran a great city spanning from the Kakabad Sea as far north as the Jaka mines. That was where they mined the ore that forged the crown. And it is that metal, that power which the goblins are searching for. If Mampang should rise, it will be their only hope. Will they find it? The crown will be recovered. Yeah, but will they find it? Flanker breathes heavily and painfully. Perhaps. Though they say the ancients left terrible guardians behind. He bows his head again. This time it is definitely from pain. Go, he hisses. You cannot aid me. Well, with the Minimite I can't cast a healing spell. No, you reply. I have caused your wounds. I will help you. He grins with gritted teeth. Are you a doctor? I do not think you are. I could offer him the blimberry juice. I will. I know that I could use it to cast a spell later on, but there's a Minimite around now. I hopefully won't need the spell in the future. I will offer it to him. With any luck, he'll refuse it. You remove the blimberry juice from your pack and unstopper it. Tipping back Flanker's head, you pour the thick, foul-smelling liquid down his throat. He almost gags, but you see him looking a little better almost immediately. You are too kind to a man who was about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson, you reply as you gather up your things and head out of the forest, leaving him behind. You have a sense you've made a powerful friend. Still the ape? Interesting. We don't have a clues page here, do we? No, we don't. All right. Well then, let's leave the trees. How much longer do you think we'll be travelling today? The Minimite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. And yeah, my throat's really raspy at the moment. I apologise. I'm not going to stop recording. I'm just going to power on through and see how it goes. You know, you could always stop here. The Minimite complains. You'd like that? I'm sure you would. You continue along the path and around the side of a hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get close, you realise the water flows underneath her house, and the house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of the house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. Honestly, she's not doing a massive wee. Greetings, old woman. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you. Oh, young man. Okay. Yeah, I'll go see. So the house is literally on top of a river. I'll go see her. You approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Oh, come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own, away from the villages. Yeah, okay, I'll spend some time with this old recluse. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Because of the Minimite or because she's poisoning the tea? Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 large cups. Look, I can just hear Ardal the Handler now, and I'm thinking like Father Tim. I can just hear him saying, cups, 2 large cups. Obviously thinking of the 2 pints of milk from the There's a Bomb on a Milk Float episode that was a piss take of speed. Now that I've made the obligatory large cups reference. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one. Not that I care what happens to you, of course. Do I drink the tea? Right, she seems nervous. If she's put something nasty... Right, so hang on. Let's think. So far, Jan hasn't had the best judgment. I mean, he's warned me of some dangers, but he hasn't had, you know, his judgment has not always been wise. So, maybe she wanted to work some kind of spell. She normally puts a spell on the tea, but the Minimite won't let her because it'll wreck the spell. Or she is doing something nasty to the tea. I don't think she's some kind of spirit or fairy of the water. She's definitely more of a normal-looking woman now. I'll make conversation. I will. The tea is still hot. You cup it between your hands and you speak. What's your name?
They call me Gazer Moon, well, I would say Gaza Moon, but I'm thinking like gaze at the moon because it's what she does, you know. They call me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way.
You nod, but you've never heard of her. This is a beautiful place, you remark, watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face.
This is the top of the crystal waterfall, she says, and she doesn't actually look that old now. That's why I allowed her voice to get a bit younger. This is the top of the crystal waterfall, she says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for luck.
She giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. Why do you live alone? No, I think she is possibly some kind of old spirit of the water. Why do you live alone? It must be more dangerous.
Oh, she replies sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they?
You can't help but notice that she has not answered the question. You make to sip your tea when the woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup touches your lips.
Oh, she says suddenly, I've forgotten the pot.
She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. I could drink my tea, or switch cups with her, or bugger off out of here at high speed. Here's the thing. I think she's banking on me switching cups with her. And that the trick is it's about trust and drinking the tea she's given me and not drinking the tea she's poured for herself. Have we seen her drink it yet? I don't think we have. That being said, I also have memories of the old lady falling asleep after drinking the drugged tea, and so I will be extremely cautious and untrusting at this point in time. I don't think she is a wise spirit of the river. But I think if I do switch the cups and there's nothing wrong with the cups, then she will know. While she is away from the table, you switch the two cups around. When she returns, you lift the one closest to you and drink. Yes, I was right! I was so right! You lift the closest one to you and drink. Oh man, is it an auto kill? A sudden, deep pain grips your stomach and you double over. What's happening? Well, obviously, I've drunk the poison. You wince and cough as you find yourself seizing up.
Oh, suspicious stranger, laughs the woman. I can count on travellers suspecting my witchcraft.
Please, release me. Oh, she's going to demand some kind of items or something, isn't she? You try to shout out, but you are paralysed and quite helpless, despite the fact there's a Minimite with me. The old woman begins to search through your bag. Jan watches, arms folded, doing nothing but clearly not surprised. Then, with a coo of delight, she pulls out the spellbook page you were given by the old man in the tree. Ah, so maybe I did the right thing after all.
My book, she cries, the missing page. Why didn't you tell me you had my missing spell?
She scurries off to the kitchen and returns with a cup. See, if I hadn't switched the cups, I'm not sure she would have mentioned it, and I don't think the missing page would have come up. So actually, I did a good thing.
Why didn't you tell me I had my missing spell? So this is the witch that he stole the page from.
She scurries off to the kitchen and returns with a cup of liquid which she pours into your half-open mouth while clucking and stroking your head. It is an antidote, and you feel your body slowly unfreeze. Finally, she slaps you to bring you round. What is the spell? What is the spell? I might not get an option to ask both.
It's a spell of pest repulsion. You've no idea how useful it is round here. She shakes her head. 4 days ago I was visited by a traveller such as yourself, but when I was away making my tea, as I always do, he started leafing through my book and tore out a page. He must have been a wizard of power, because he vanished almost too fast for me to curse him.
Oh, what curse did you cast on him?
Well, you saw him, she replies. I aged him. Didn't stop him escaping, though. She fusses with the page, repairing her spellbook with some gentle magic. "Shall I show you how useful the spell is?" she says. How is she able to do that with the Minimite here? Yes, please. My pleasure. Jan begins to squeal and screech and make some awful noises about what he'll do if he ever catches up with you again, but it doesn't stop the old lady from casting her spell. The Minimite vanishes. You feel a flow of magic back through your body. Oh, this is... I'm used to still having him after this encounter. Where is he? Is he dead? The old woman shakes her head. Oh no, but with any luck you won't see him again. You nod at that and leave her hut. I'm used to him deciding to stay in Torapani before I go on to Khare. So, speaking of Torapani, let's head towards it. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the next hill, and below you is the village of Torapani, slung from one side of the valley to the next, like a flood barrier. I will, as with every other village I've come across, look at it, or in this case, observe it before I approach. It doesn't take long to look at a village. I mean, it takes longer to observe it, but sure. Torapani is a village of the Sven, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. You might expect their village to be rowdy, but it seems strangely quiet. And I did hear that they had some trouble at the moment, so I'll go into town. Still, there is no way round it. You will have to go through. And so I shall. You enter the village. There is a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Svins are going about their business, slowly and miserably, and pay you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very centre of the village to consider your options. I'll make contact with the villagers before I find an inn to rest. Just like, hello, don't mind me, just passing through, you know. You spy a group of Svins sitting outside a low hut, and you walk over and sit yourself down. They are discussing a friend apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. If I tell them I met this assassin and they then find out that he still lives, that won't be good for me. Is that why you are all afraid? You ask. We are afraid of no thing, retorts one of the Sven furiously. But no, much worse. Another Sven bangs his hand down on the table. But with Esh dead, who saved Tia? I'm going to presume Esh was their friend and ask who Tia is. Who is Tia? A flower. The Sven who answers wipes a tear from the corner of his eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia is Chief's daughter, the other Sven says. Esh was to save her. Now Esh not alive, so Tia soon not alive. Is Bonnie Tyler here? What happened to her? Goblins. They sacrifice. Sacrifice? He is unsure of the word, so mimes or gestures like a stabbing downwards knife blade. Yes, sacrifice to great cave demon. Trouble is, another says, our village die if chief line end. Tia is end, so if end ends, we end. All very sad. Very sad, they all agree. God, they sound like Trigger from Only Fools and Horses, some of his mates, don't they? Who you? One asks suddenly, as if only just thinking of it. He prods you in the chest. Why, I, who no longer is accompanied by a Minimite, am a sorcerer. Sorcerer? A sudden gleam enters the biggest one's eye. Great sorcerer? Well, I do my best.
Best is good. Meke, Tifa! He signals to the others, who are quickly on their feet, big hefty arms swinging for you. We take to Chief! Before you can resist, they have you and are hauling you bodily onto their shoulders. I could ask where they're taking me, but they've made that pretty clear. I could pray to my spirit animal for aid. I don't think that's the best time, to be honest. I think I should save that for the cave demon. So I'll wait and see what happens. You hold your tongue and wait to see where they are taking you. You pass through the village. Several Sphinx watch from doorways and windows, their faces silent and sombre. A few murmur blessings or maybe curses as you pass. Then you reach a low hut on the edge of the village. You are set down carefully. Well then. The door is slammed and locked. A moment later it reopens and your possessions are thrown inside. Well, that's alright. I could wait to see what happens or try to sleep. You know what? Sleep is good. They'll wake me if they come in, right? A few more minutes pass and with no more movement. A few more minutes pass with no more movement. Figuring they will probably now wait until daylight, you put your head down to sleep. Your dreams are filled with grasping hands and long dark nails scratching at your flesh, and however much you toss and turn on the floor, you cannot quite get them out of your mind. Well, we sleep till dawn. But we're now at full stamina, as in our maximum has reached 20 once again. Daybreak. You are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door to the hut opens and 5 Sphinx come in. They drag you roughly out across the street to another hut where an old man with grey hair sits. He is wearing outlandish, colourful robes. My name Proteus. Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologise. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeves. I'm not going to rush up and attack him. Apology accepted. The chief nods. He waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk. Yeah, I'll eat it. Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poisoned, and it nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in a pool of cloth. So these Sphinx don't seem very intelligent. I imagine if they were going to poison me, they would have someone more important give me the poisoned food and drink. Whereas a menial servant, on the other hand, who's, like a flunky, doesn't even have a name. Nah. I have need of you and your strength. Well, I will help if I can, but tell me what you need. The chief nods. I shall. My daughter, my child, she is taken, offered to a terrible demon below. You want me to rescue her? The chief nods. Succeed, and you may choose your reward. Fail, and... He shrugs. Well, then I'll do it. I imagine that at this point saying save her yourself wouldn't end very well for me. It may probably force me to do it anyway. The chief nods. I hope you will. He gestures to the other Sphinx, who, still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet. Apparently I'm being dragged to a crack in the ground. It's almost like that pit that I didn't send the dancers to in the first episode. You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Sphinx has brought a rope and another a basket. They are preparing to lower you down into the pit of the earth itself. Now, if I had behaved less nicely, they would have just chucked me down, no basket. You will pay me richly for this. No, he said I can choose my reward, right? So I'll just take the adventure. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares as they start to lower you down. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You are blind, helplessly trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the spins shouts something down to you. I could feel for walls, get lost and not find a thing on the ground, or feel around for a thing. Maybe it's a lantern, right? I'll feel around on the ground. You crouch down and feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. You pick it up. It is a dry wood torch. Something else falls from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbox, calls the voice. Well, I'll feel around for the tinderbox. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach down and find the tinderbox. I'm going to light the torch. You strike a light and the torch blazes into flame. Below. You can see now you're in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and right. Through an uneven rockfall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. I think if I listen by the rocks, it will be the chief's daughter, right? You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is a whimpering coming from the other side of the pile of stones. The Sphin Girl, perhaps? She came in this way, but then the cave-in blocked off her path. You will have to find another way to reach her. Okay. I will go left. You go left and creep slowly into the darkness, ears straining for the sound of approaching threat. The passage rises up a gentle incline. At the top, a thick crystal seam glitters in the torchlight, and the tunnel ends at a T-junction. I don't think I'll get one of the gems I need for a spell here, but I will look, and I hope it won't distract me so the creature will come and get me. The seam seems to be made of pure diamond. It was no doubt in quest of this that those tunnels were carved. But why is no one mining here now? Diamond? Diamond. Okay, let's see. No diamond, no diamond. No diamond. No diamond. No diamond. And if I try and dig it out, it could make a loud noise. But I think I'll try. Dig out the crystal. You try to pry some diamonds loose from the incredible seam in the rock, but your sword is not up to the task, and you would only make it blunt. You could perhaps return with a proper pick, but only if you escape these tunnels first. Okay, so I've come in. She's somewhere ahead of me. I've gone left. I have the option to go right, which will be going back towards the point where she is. So if I'm here, I've gone that way, I can go up there, and if I go left, I might find a pickaxe. Ooh. Risk it? Risk it? I don't know. There could be some more goblins down here, so we've got to be careful. You take the left passage. You walk down the passage for several minutes, then slip on some dirt, and the ground beneath you gives way. You plunge into a hidden pit and land on something soft. I'd better look around. This something soft is a lot of snakes. Not yet counting your luck, you look around, and sure enough, you are out of the frying pan and into the reptile den. You are in a pit of snakes. That is a lot of snakes. Use magic, pray to my spirit, try something else.
This seems like a good time to pray. Oh. Oh. Snakes, you ready a spell. Let's cast a spell. Law. Okay, we've got P. Pop. For an explosion. Zen. I do not have the item. Come on. I saw the F. There it is. Oh. No, nothing? No F. Okay. Zap would be like a... No, Zen? No. It's got to be Law then, hasn't it, really? And hope it works. You cast the spell and feel the snakes come under your command. I'll order them to help me get out of here. You command the snakes to approach. They slither nearer and nearer, then they begin to climb the walls, holding themselves erect until they form a living ladder that stretches up the passage above. Then I will climb it quickly. You steel your courage and climb quickly back up to the tunnel above. Back on firm ground, you watch as the spell leaves for snakes, and they tumble, snapping, hissing, and hungry, back to the cavern floor. You are soon back by the crystal seam, where a side passage opens to the right. So, I can't go any further this way, I've just gone back to the junction. So, right will be back to the cave I started in, straight on. You push on. Here the cave system widens. Pendulous stalactites hang from the ceiling as if about to fall and skewer you in place. You skirt between them, following a thin, safe path until a passage appears on your left. I've got left and straight ahead, so straight ahead is the best option. However, I want to explore a little, right? So I will. You slip through the opening in the left wall. After a few minutes' walk up a shallow incline, you begin to hear something in the distance, a low rumbling. Turn and run. Just run. Sounds really bad. You turn and run, but not fast enough. The rumbling gets louder and louder until you look over your shoulder and see an enormous boulder rolling speedily down the tunnel towards you. Do I have FOF? You check the stars and see what spells are available to you. I mean, that's not gonna... FOF or wall? W-A-L. That's a lot of stamina. You cast your spell just in time and the great boulder hits your invisible wall with considerable force, causing the whole cave to shake and shudder. Then the boulder holds in place like a pawing horse. But your spell will not last long, so you'd better move on. Turn back? Yeah, absolutely. What? What? No! So you moved me back down there and now... Yeah. Turn and run. Are we... Yeah, it's for boulder coming. Okay, pray to my spirit. You raise a fast and fervent prayer to the ape, your spirit, and feel the peace of the wilderness enter you as the boulder slows and catches and invisible breaks make it slow. Not enough to stop it coming, but enough to give you a chance. With a final burst of speed, you race down the hall and jump left, narrowly avoiding the boulder as it crashes loudly and violently into the wall, mere inches from where you were standing. You pick yourself up and dust yourself down. The passage dips once more, and then a crack splits the wall to the right. 2 stones are stacked on top of one another against the wall here. Go straight and go right. I think go right, because that'll take me back to her. Right? So this is like when you have a good reason to ignore the fighting fantasy rule because you're aiming for a particular location or have clues, those 2 stones could be important. You turn right. Then you see a spot of sunlight up ahead and rush forward to find yourself back beneath the crack in the ceiling through which you came. Oh, what? That can't be right. So I'm not going to climb up. I'm not going to turn back. Am I? If I do, am I going to be looking at that boulder again? I kind of want to now, just to see. I'll go straight on. You creep forwards through the dark, quite sure you are going in circles. I've got a torch. The ground begins to slope upwards and the walls begin to glitter as you encounter a seam of crystal. Have you been this way before? Here, the passage you are following splits. That doesn't add up. That would mean I go and then going right has let me back over here. This doesn't make sense. So I go right. You take the right-hand tunnel. The way is soon blocked by a large boulder. You retrace your steps. You are soon back at the crystal seam where a crawl space gapes to your left. That will take me back to the... But if I go straight on, I'll get back to the snake pit, so I'll go left. You go left. Soon you are back in the spot of sunlight beneath the opening in the ceiling. In which case I'll go straight on. You move onwards along the tunnel, quite sure you are going in circles. The passageway slopes down a short way, then finishes at another fork. There is a stacked pair of stones here as well. I will examine the stones. This could be a clue or a passage, right? There's nothing special about the 2 stones, except that they happen to be on top of one another. I will go left. You take the left passage. Again, you reach the boulder that blocks the tunnel. You head back up the tunnel. The passage goes down once more, and then a side passage breathes a gentle wind on the right. The pair of stones is still stacked in one corner. I went left. I come back, I go right. I'm going back where I came, so I need to go straight on. You edge further down the tunnel. The tunnel twists and bends sharply as if carved by a river now long since dried away. You lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward where the path you are creeping through forks again. 2 more stones are stacked against the wall, so 1 for left, 2 for right. I'll try right. You move through the opening in the right wall. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realise that the tunnel is climbing at quite a sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll away downwards into the dark. At the highest point, the winding seam reaches a split. As you enter, 2 stones roll away down the slope. I should not have come this way. 2 stones roll away, so right again. Or left. So the 2 stones were here. Okay. Going right for the 2 stones seems to be Yeah. You go right. The cave walls crush in close, as though the rock is squeezing you to death. Your shoulders rub against the walls. When you feel certain you can go no further, the cavern flickers in the torchlight and branches once more. A pair of stones sit on top of each other by one wall. Then I will go to the right. You turn right. You follow the passageway when you hear an echo of whimpering coming up the corridor. Your torchlight falls across a frail shape. Hidden in the shadows is the young Sven girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little towers. So it's not that it's 2 stones, it's that she just likes piling stones on top of each other. Okay. Come with me. You hold out a hand and the girl takes it and gets to her feet. We have to be quiet, she hisses, Or else... Suddenly there is a loud roaring from the mouth of this short cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The sphinx stone towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, letting through a mean shaft of light. But before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a scream from the Sphin girl. You turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. Is there something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. Something is definitely coming. You hear the scrabbling sound of claws on rock, and the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape. A Manticore. Huge, terrible. It stands between you and the light and howls in a bloody rage. I must admit it doesn't look quite as large in this crouching stance as the one on the front cover of the book. I will look at the creature. I don't remember Death Trap Dungeon. If you meet the Manticore, of its tail beware. Shield yourself against the spikes flying through the air. I could look at the creature, but it might do something while I look, so I'm going to use magic. You clear your mind for a spell. And I'm going to go for another wall. It's in a tunnel. Oh. Foff, then, for force field? Create a force field. Absolutely. And yes, I'm aware of that stamina going down. The creature makes half a turn and swings its deadly tail, but as the sting whips towards you, you complete your spell and it strikes only the invisible force field. You have bought yourself a little time and a defense that will be invaluable if you tackle it in swordplay, but you are still trapped down here. Oh, must have gone for a wrong spell. Well, what else have I got as options? I think this. Mud requires sand. Yeah, don't have that. Oh! Oh, I could summon a giant. Okay, what else? Goblin. Is that hot for fireball? Yeah. Well, I'm pretty badly hurt now. Is Yob gonna cost me much? Yob cost me nothing. I like this plan. Okay. This might be a bit overkill, but I think this is the time for it. My one and only giant's tooth. You drop a giant's tooth onto the floor and quickly cast your spell. A cloud of smoke gathers around the tooth, and as it clears, a large giant stands in its place, head stooped by the cavern roof. He is armed with a spiked club and sets about the Manticore with loud, crashing blows. You stay back, desperate to avoid the deadly flinging tail. The fight is vicious but short. The giant lands a colossal blow, but then, with 2 accurate flicks of its sting, the Manticore catches the giant first in the side and then in the head. Your champion falls and hits the rock floor with an enormous crash. A moment later, he is nothing but a puff of smoke. The Manticore roars, making the walls of the chamber shake, but listening closely, you can hear a note of fear in its too human voice. It is still a beast of ferocious strength, but you have weakened it. You will have to make this next and final spell matter, or take it to task with your sword. I will go for a spell, because I don't really have the health for a stand-up fight with a monster that powerful. Pop for an explosion. No goblin this time? They really want pop, don't they? A sap. Causes depression. that might actually be really effective. I'm pretty sure when I played this originally, there was a way of either using a force field or something like that to just escape the monster and not have to fight it completely. Law, it's not that dumb. Zap is a lot of stamina. And if I can... see, pop... doesn't cost stamina. You cast the spell quickly over one of your pebbles and lob it at the creature. It strikes it in the side with a vicious explosion of fur and blood. Sure, I'll throw another one. Seizing your advantage, you enchant a second pebble and hurl it at the creature. It hits the creature in the neck in a fireball of blood and feathers. Okay, so now it's got to be pretty badly hurt. And I think I've only got one more pebble. And I don't think I should use my last pebble on this. I wish I'd summoned a goblin now. Not that it would have helped much. Okay. Throw another. Now attack. Ooh. You draw your sword and close on the beast. Force field still around you, but you have half killed it already. Half! Oh, I'm so dead. I should defend. And I'm so glad that I did. The Manticore paces around the edge of your force field, perhaps able to smell the magic. You drop back behind your force field, hoping the beast will wear itself out. At the last moment it pounces, all claws off the ground and bared to plunge into your flesh. You brace yourself behind your force field as it comes down and leap aside at the last moment, claws raking your skin. Oof. What's that, 12? What's that 12 for? That's got to be some kind of indicator, right? It went in heavy. It's actually tired itself out a lot now, so if I go for a straight 5. Yes! The creature snarls and snaps its jaws. You must finish this monster before it finishes you. Standing firm, you swing a mighty stroke against the monster just as the Manticore punches its tail down like a hammer stroke. As it rears, you push your sword up into its exposed belly. The creature crashes against one wall. Rock dust pours onto its back, but as it tries to shake itself, it stumbles. You can hardly dare to hope the foul beast is weakening. The Manticore shifts away and opens its enormous jaws. It looks so human, but contain an impossible number of teeth, each one dripping with a mixture of saliva and blood. That sounds really dangerous. 4.9, I can only go for a 6.5. I'm going to go full-on defense here. Oh, wow, went for a really weak attack. I should have gone for a 2 or 3. Actually, warily you move into a defensive crouch behind your force field. The Manticore stays low and tries to ram you. The beast growls at you, the walls shiver with its fury. The Sphin Girl edges nearer as if thinking of scratching the creature with her claws. "It's scared," she whispers to you. "You might not believe me, but you've scared it." 1.1. It's got 8 stamina left, so I can't just go in heavy. I could go for like a 2. So I'd swipe all the way to a cut. Sure, I'll risk it. Yes! He's tiring himself out, so he can't attack very much now. Oh, but that means he might defend. 1.6, I think he might try it. In the darkness of the cave, it's hard to read the creature's intentions, but you cannot wait forever. Dropping your weight, you chop a heavy swing at the vile beast, catching the Manticore a light blow. Let's go 1.7. Right, just in case he defends, because I'm going to need to defend again soon. Hey, my stamina's back up to 9. How did that happen? Oh, God. He went for me. The Manticore moves quickly and strikes so fast with its scorpion sting that you barely see it move and have only a single breath to escape. You defend yourself as best you can. You try to shrug away the pain. Okay, he can go 5.1. I can go 6.2. I think I just defend. Oh, I'm glad I defended. You can almost smell the creature growing enraged and drop quickly behind the strongest part of your force field. The Manticore makes a nasty swipe with its fearsome claws, but you duck and escape real injury. The Manticore chomps and grinds its teeth. Its expression an ugly frown. 4.7, it's still pretty dangerous. I would have to go pretty all in to beat that. And then I'd be defending next round. And it's got 6 stamina left. Oh, is that what it went for last time? Because now it's like way down here, so it doesn't have much at all, right? So I'll go 4.8. Yeah. The Manticore laughs at you. Ha 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 ha! With a human expression of twisted joy. You risk an attack. Back against the rock, you deliver a ferocious stab at the creature, slipping a tight strike past the Manticore's outstretched claws. It curses you in an almost human tongue. The monster rears up on its back legs and opens its wings to fill the room, so it's looking big and imposing, but it's got no power left for a strong attack. I could go... That ain't going to do 4 damage. So... Sideswipe just to beat whatever it's got. Oh, bugger. The monster pounds across the stone floor, knocking you over. You parry swiftly. I have a force field. It's doing really well for me here, but 1.5. Look, you can't do much again. So if I go for like a 2, 2.3. Oh god, I shouldn't have done that. The creature whips out with its vicious tail. You dodge back. You keep the creature ready in your sights. The creature stretches its wide jaws and roars. Okay, all-out defense. A weak attack? Really now? Wearily you move into a defensive crouch behind your force field. The Manticore rushes you. At the last moment you jump aside. For a moment it is close enough to smell its warm, fetid breath, but your force field holds strong. All in. Oh, so close. You spy an advantage, the kind that can change the course of a battle. With the rock wall at your back, you have no way to hide but a perfect platform to spring forward. You race at the Manticore at the same moment as it comes for you with its terrible sting. You cut into it like a butcher. The Manticore screams and howls in a voice that is almost human. It is dying. Slowly, furiously, but nonetheless it weakens. The Manticore rears. Okay, I've lost 3 stamina. I should have just gone for like a fireball or something. The Manticore roars. The ground itself seems to shake with its anger. Full on defense. I've still got a force field, right? Oh, thank goodness. And now I can finish it. Wearily you move into a defensive crouch behind your force field. The Manticore keeps close to the floor and rushes to knock you down. You bless your force field as a blow rebounds. Right. I'm going to go for like a 3. A solid 3. Oh! Shouldn't have done that. So there's something off about its energy display. Odd. Your enemy acts fast and whips its sting so sharply that you have only an instant to respond. Your own attack is forgotten, but you try again. You try to regain your balance, grateful for your force field. The Manticore gnashes its jaws, readying itself for the taste of your bones. Go for its throat, the Spin Girl cries out. I'll risk it. Oh, I'm so glad. You must kill this creature. Standing firm, you swing a fearsome strike against the monster. Your sword blade seems almost to be possessed. It finds its way past the Manticore's sweeping claws, through its thick hide, and down into its ancient, cruel heart. So not the throat. For a moment, it howls loud enough to make the walls shake, and then everything falls very quiet. 4 stamina lost. Skilled swordplay, though. Against a foe that dangerous, I'll take it. This game is very forgiving on the combat. If I die, does it give me the option to try again as well? Oof. In that case, only the auto kills could get at me. The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quick, quiet breathing of the Sphin Girl. Thank you, the Sphin Girl murmurs, then, tugging at your arm. This way? She leads you towards the light, through a gap in the rocks to the pool of sunlight in the first cavern. At last! Freedom! You wave the torch, hoping to attract attention. I could call up myself. If the girl calls, they know I've got her. If I yell up myself, they might not think I've rescued her. Girl, call to your father. The Sphin child nods mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs, Proceus, I'm here! Then something drops down. A rope with a basket on the end. Get in together, the chief calls from above. We'll pull you both up. I don't think the basket can hold us both. If I send her up first, I think they forget me, but then they come back and rescue me, right? I'll send the girl up first. You lift the girl into the basket and call up, Haul away! The Sphinx give a great cry and begin to pull, and the basket starts to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears up in the sunlight, and she won't forget me. Then she is gone. I wait. A minute passes. Nothing. I wait. Another minute. Still nothing. No sign or sound or movement from above. The tunnel echoes very slightly. A noise from the depths. Perhaps the Manticore was not alone. I wait a little longer. You wait a little longer, settling down on your pack. You can imagine the celebration going on above ground, the tears and grateful reunion. No surprise if they lose track of you down here in the dark. And then, sure enough, the basket and the rope tumble down. You clamber quickly in and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you out onto the grass. His daughter is with him, clutching his hand. My daughter tells me you fight bravely, he says. For that, I grateful. I invite you with us back, Torapani. Will you come? Oh, of course. They said I could choose my reward. There'll probably be a feast in my honour, at least, right? Oh, look at the happy Spins. Those are really happy faces. That's great. All those toothy grins, and this big burly chap, oh, he's so happy. A little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod. I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts into celebration. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds. I didn't even notice that. And when you emerge, it is to find the village, before so sombre and silent, now in full life. Flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of Spins are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You are whisked away into the dance by Proceus's daughter before the chief can welcome you to the feast. The night is glorious. For simple, hearty folk, they certainly know how to celebrate. I got money! About 8 gold? 10. I didn't realise I was below 7. That night you sleep heavily and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go.
My good friend, he declares, you have saved us.
He presses 2 gifts into your hands. A pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key.
This opened the south city gate of Khare, he tells you. I hope it is use.
It's time to go. I have a key for the gate. That's really helpful. You take your leave. The path winds away from Torrepani, and soon you are on a downward slope, away from the Shamutanti Hills through stepped rice fields. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Khare is a busy city, it is cruel, and beyond Khare there is nothing but the vicious wasteland. You will have no one to trust in the days ahead. I walk on. For a brief moment, up on the hills above the path, you fancy you see a figure stealing its way along by some high and secret route. A figure all in black, but when you shade your eyes against the sun, whatever was there has disappeared. In the distance rises the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. To Khare, then. I get to go along the road. Oh, nice big dramatic zoom out. Your journey through the Shamutanti Hills is completed. Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the assassin and have been given the key to the gates of Khare. You have collected a large number of magical artifacts, a large lump of beeswax, a cloth skull cap, a vial of glue, nose plugs, 1 pebble, 3 goblin's teeth, and a bamboo pipe. You are still armed only with your original sword and have 2 rations and 15 gold pieces and a spellbook. The adventure continues in Sorcery, Part 2. Khare, Cityport of Traps, out now. I will absolutely save to Cloud, sure. Spells are being prepared. Save Cloud name. JY Tate. Is there a way of copying that? I'm screenshotting that just for reference, and I'll keep a little text document. So let's continue. There we go. The crown of kings has been stolen by the Archmage and taken across the Baklands to Mampang. You have been sent to get it back. Should you fail, the whole of Kakabad will surely fall. A journey began. From the outpost settlement in Analand, you crossed the Shamutanti Hills. Along the way, you spared the life of a defeated assassin, travelled with a Minimite who almost cost you your life, and fought and killed the dreaded Manticore. You have faced cruel twists of fate and deadly traps, a true test of character. To survive, you used your blade rarely, and your intelligence frequently. You deceived, charmed, and tricked your way through. Your spirit guide changed as you changed, becoming the ape. But now, all that seems a distant memory, for you are approaching Khare, the Cityport of Traps. Founded on a ford by the Jabaji River, Khare was once a camp for the pirates who ambushed merchants sailing from Lake Lumle to the sea. But the camp grew. It became a village, and the village became a town, and now Khare is a magnet for ne'er-do-wells and thieves, ruled over by a council of villains. Look, I'm just waiting till I get to the menu so I can stop, okay? It cannot be avoided. You would go around it if you could, but on the far side is the North Gate, the only entrance to the Baklands and the next stage of your journey. If your quest is to succeed, you must enter the Cityport of Traps and make it out alive.
Inkle presents Steve Jackson's Sorcery, Book 2, Khare, Cityport of Traps. And with that, surely, can I finally... No, I can't! Oh, that's annoying. Okay, now? Yes, now I can stop. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little break here for a day or two to play a few other games, catch up on some of the other series I've been, and within 2 or 3 days I will be starting Book 2 of Sorcery. So don't worry, you won't have too long to wait, but I'm going to take a slight tiny break. When I return to venture through the city of Khare, I hope you will all be here with me. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode, and I do look forward to seeing you all next time when I venture into Book 2. I'm going to say goodbye for now, though, and thank you very much for watching. See you all next time. Cheerio.